Hi guys, welcome to class. So let's talk about foodborne diseases. So foodborne diseases. The name is quite explanatory. Food and disease. So is there any relationship between food and disease? We are told to eat so we can be healthy. So why should disease now be found in food? Is that not an oxymoron? Foodborne disease. Well, this term is used to refer to any form of disease that arise or illnesses that arise as due to consumption of food that is contaminated by pathogens. These include bacteria, fungi, virus, or we can also use it to describe consumption of natural toxins. That is, food that naturally contain toxins, like some species of mushrooms. And also, we can also use it to describe an illness arising from consumption of food that has been exposed to chemical agents such as insecticides. So when you see illness arising due to that, it tells you that that disease is foodborne. That is, the transmission of the disease causing agent or the transmission of the cause of that pathology, the cause of that disease condition, was via the food consumed. Remember when we were looking at ways by which pathogens can enter into the body, one of the ways we mentioned was mouth. And I said this route is very commonly used by bacteria, contaminated food. Because in most cases, the colonization, the increase in the size of the bacterial colonies is always what will then lead to presentation of those symptoms. Do you understand? So when you consume this food that is contaminated with bacteria, so when they get to your body, when they start to rapidly multiply, populate your system, that's what will now lead to the presentation of these symptoms that show that, okay, you have come down with a foodborne illness, you have a foodborne disease. Remember I said that most bacteria, they mediate their pathological effects through the release of toxins. And I explained using the Vibrio cholera that release a toxin that will cause the massive loss of water, forming the massive dehydration. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that the proliferation of bacteria gotten from infected food which we consume is also one of the contributing factors to a foodborne disease or a foodborne illness. And a very important bacteria that is always indicated in most foodborne diseases is the Salmonella species, Salmonella enteriditis. Or simply put, you just say Salmonella species. Member of the Enterobacter, she a gram-negative bacilli, Salmonella. So it's responsible for most of these foodborne illnesses or foodborne disease. And most times, they also refer to this foodborne disease or foodborne illnesses, they refer to that disease condition as food poisoning. When you say somebody, and it could be very severe, some people actually do die from food poisoning. So what you have is, you have a lot of Salmonella. Salmonella has invaded your system. And that's where you make those presentations. And what are the presentations of food poisoning? You want to know that somebody has food poisoning, somebody has a foodborne illness. The presentation you commonly see is you see vomiting, you see nausea, person will be dehydrated. Why? Because the person could present with diarrhea. There will be excessive diarrhea. So dizziness as well. Dizziness is also another feature of someone with food poisoning. Person will be dizziness. So once you see all these, those are classic signs of food poisoning. So, or foodborne disease. So these are the things you need to see that might want to lead you to say, oh, the diagnosis concerning this patient is likely having a case of food poisoning, is likely has a case of foodborne disease. So he has foodborne disease. And basically, the toxins which I'm talking about, like the reason why most people commonly come down with food poisoning is that sometimes it's not as if you didn't cook that food in a well hygienic condition. It's not as if you didn't adhere to health precautions, as in cook it in a tidy environment, use clean water, use clean utensils and the rest. But just that, like I said earlier when I introduced bacteria, I said bacteria are ubiquitous. What I mean, they're almost everywhere. And that's the reason why emphasis is laid on eating good food, so that you don't just come down with any little infection that enter the system. You just come down with so much symptoms and you are down. So that's why you need to eat good food, so as to boost your immune system, so as to fight little infections. Because basically, Staphylococcus aureus is one of the most ubiquitous, let me use that word, bacteria. And it releases certain toxins which are found everywhere in the environment. So that means that no matter how clean you want to clean a place, when you look at it in the microscope, you still see traces of microorganisms, you still see traces of bacteria. And if they are present there, it means those toxins will be present there. So most of the toxins, these quite visual toxins that contribute to this foodborne disease which we are talking about, they are produced by Staphylococcus. So they are produced by Staphylococcus. And mostly Staphylococcus aureus. So it's most time a case of Staphylococcus aureus. That's what is always responsible for those toxins which are always produced that contribute to this food poisoning. So food poisoning is something that is evident, is present, and that's why care should be taken to ensure you know what you're putting into your stomach. You don't just put anything there. Ensure what you're putting into your stomach has been cooked according to good hygienic processes and a good environment. Also, you make effort of washing your hands. If you want to take food in a plate, wash the plate and take it along with clean water. So that's what we call food-borne diseases. And the pathogens that are indicated, we have Salmonella, you have Staphylococcus, and also you could also have even some fungi as well. They can also be introduced into your system via the food you eat. See you in the next class.